defense. Okay, baby, we have learned all about defense. We've got our belts, we're winning games, our MMR is increasing, and we're feeling good. But let's cement our understanding with a quiz. Okay, we've just been demoed and spawned on the opposite side of the switch. What do? Face out and dive? Wait at net in shadow position, fake challenge into shadow, or sit in net and face out? Well, let's break it down. Let's see what would happen in each situation. So let's start with face out and dive. What would happen if we did that? Yep. Risky. It's a risky one. I wouldn't recommend it. I've put in red that it can work. Sometimes it can work. Yeah, you know, it can work, but it is risky. So that's always what you got to think. Is it the most optimal option? Let's see what waiting at the net in a shadow position does for us. Yeah, you need to do something. You can't just sit and wait in the net. You need to do something, and you should never be on the opposite side of the board. So always at least switch across with the opponent. All right, here we go. Fake challenge into shadow. Let's see what happens with this. Yep, perfect. And we've got possession of the ball. That is why that is in green. That's what you want to do. Fake challenge into a shadow. It's always a good option. Force their hand, make them make a play, get into a safe shadow position, and then we can get possession. Alright, let's see what happens if we just sit in net and face out. And this is quite a common thing people do. But you can't do anything, you're stuck in the middle. If they shoot to either side, you are just completely bamboozled. So really the optimal thing you can do there is to fake challenge into a shadow. Although face out and dive could work sometimes. Question 2. We just got demoed again, but this time we spawn on the same side. What do? Face out and dive, wait for opponent and sit facing out, fake challenge into shadow, or wait in shadow from spawn. Let's go through them individually again. Starting with a face out and dive. It's too risky. It's so risky they can see you come in. They know what's happening, so they'll just move the ball around you. Let's see what happens if we wait for the opponent in the net, facing out. Any angle, and we are screwed with that. So that's not an optimal option. Fake challenge into shadow. Some of you might be going, yeah, this is probably the one I picked. Let's see what happens if we run this one. And this is all done in one take. With Max, he was trying to score, but again, look at that fake challenge into a shadow, forced his hand, put him into position he didn't feel as comfortable, and now look, we've actually got the ball centering up for us. So always a great option that. And let's do the wait in the shadow from the spawn position. Here we go, we're just going to sit here. Again, it's very hard for us to do anything in that position, just sat there, especially like that. So not optimal. We do need to always want to try and force the opponent's hand. Okay, we're in the opponent's half. They have the ball, but they have no boost. What do? Sit back and give them space, put pressure on them, maybe even a demo, fake and wait, challenge the ball to force a play. Let's have a look at the first one. Yeah. The big question is why? Why would you do that? Great air dribble. You don't want to be sitting back and giving them space. You know they've got no boost. Why will we give them space to allow them to gather their boost? We're in a good spot, and then we've just allowed them to come back and kick our ass there. So again, don't be giving people space. This is putting pressure on, and look at that, ends in a goal straight away. Now you got to be careful with the pressure you put on, but that is exactly what you need. Something on them. You need to put something on them. You've got an advantage. Even if you lose the 50, you'll probably be able to get back and touch it again before them. So we need something. Let's have a look at fake and wait. So an interesting one. I've put that orange. Yes, it is good, you know, there's never any harm in shadowing and just playing it like that. If you're good at shadowing, that should be good for you. But just know that it isn't optimal, because if you challenged and put pressure on it, it would probably be a little bit better. So even though it's not dangerous, it's not optimal. Let's have a look at if we challenge the ball and force a play. Put pressure on. We've got the advantage. They need boost. We don't. Boom. In it goes. Put the pressure on. We're in an advantage. Let's do something. We need to put some pressure on. Don't give them space if they're in a bad spot. We need to lure them forward, take their boost, make it bad, and then we can turn and score. So look at this one. Okay, you're near to the opponent, shadowing, and they are switching the ball. What do you do? Also switch and time a side flip. Switch and shadow. Don't switch and try to make a save. Face out and dive. Let's have a look at the first one. Oh yeah, look at that. Always an optimal thing to do. Don't let them switch. Don't give them the space. Let that gap reduce and do a side flip for safety. Here's a switch and shadow. So we're going to switch with them. I'm going to shadow. And you look how difficult it makes it for the opponent to get anything going when you're shadowing well. So switching shadow is in green. It is a very good thing to do as well. It's always just a good option. Always a good safe option to shadow. Let's have a look at what happens if we don't switch and try to make a save going down the middle. Super difficult. It's super. You never. I'm going to keep saying the same stuff over and over. Never ever put yourself on the opposite side of the ball in ones, unless it's to bait a shot that you are aware of. Always try and be on the same side as the ball, because they can just play it to front post, as that just happened. Face out and dive. Look at that, 50-50 low. Max saw it coming. Not a lot I could do about that. And that's why I don't recommend it. It can work. Can it work? Yes, it can. You know, sometimes it can, but it's just not optimal. This is the thing. It isn't an optimal thing to do, especially if they've got control of the ball. If they've got control of it, you definitely don't want to do it. And they got vision, you don't want to be doing it. Okay, the opponent is carrying the ball. What do we do? Do we dive from opposite the ball? Do we fake and shadow, go for a demo, wait in there, or inline shadow half flip challenge? 5 answers on this one. Let's have a look what happens if we dive. Orange again, it can work, but you've got to be so careful. If we get that wrong, we're flicked, we're out the play. Wouldn't recommend it as optimal, but sometimes if you're like 5-0 down with a minute left to go, maybe you might want to try that to get something to happen. So we'll go fake into a shadow. Oh, and look at that. We're safe. We're safe. Fake and shadow is always a good option. It doesn't overextend you. You're still safe. And forces their hand early. It means they can't get the shot they want. Go for a demo. And I love demos. But as you can see, it's not optimal. Sometimes it can work, but you don't want to be doing it once they've got control of the ball. As soon as they initiate their carry and you're already in close proximity with Supersonic, then yes. But otherwise, you don't want to be putting yourself in like that. Wait in the net. Yeah, you've probably started to figure out that, waiting in the net isn't a good option. If you're in the middle of the net, any good opponent with a bit of awareness will just play it to either corner. Look at this inline shadow half flip challenge. Yeah, and orange again, it's a great move, but use it sparingly or use it before they can get their momentum. If they've got the ball carried and they're under control, they might flick it early and you might be in a difficult spot, but it is a really good move to make. Okay, the opponent has a bounce dribble on the wing this time. What do we do? Dive from opposite the ball, fake and shadow waiting there, or inline shadow half flip challenge. Let's have a look at what happens when we just dive in. Low 50. And you could shoot that on. So again, I'm going to say this. Diving in can sometimes work. Sometimes you may even just need to do it if you want to change something up. But it's not optimal. It's not optimal. Fake and shadow. What do we think is going to happen here, guys? Yeah. Of course. Faking shadow. It's just the golden standard, isn't it? It's always going to get the green light from me, the fake into the shadow. So now let's have a look at waiting in the net. Yeah, don't wait in the net. Do something. Sometimes you'll be forced to wait in the net, but it's not ideal. It really is not ideal. If you're forced into it, there's nothing you can do about it. You've got to try and make a save, but ideally we don't want to put ourselves there. Let's have a look at the inline shadow half flip challenge. It, again, worked well there. If he would have done a one-touch power shot, wouldn't have worked. If I was doing that a lot, he probably would have done that as well. So mixing it up there, it can work, but you got to make sure you mix it up. Okay, guys, well, let me know how you got on below with these questions. Some are a bit different here. Just to make sure that you know exactly what the choices are, what the optimal plays are from each thing. But remember, you know, it's something I spoke to Max about, is sometimes doing what's known as the wrong thing can work if you're good at it. So just improving your skills at each individual attribute, faking, challenging, 50s, shadowing, will increase your defensive capabilities. Thanks everybody for watching. Have a good one. Look after yourselves. And as always, peace out. Peace.